We're approaching the hangar bay. We'll meet you there with the marker.
Please stand by.
Yes, Amelia Sue. We'll send the hive mind back into the darkness.
So glad you gave that guy our only escape shuttle. Shit, Isaac. Those things you've killed, their biomass is pulled down in the cargo bay. It's recombined itself into... Well, it's something huge, and the marker's embedded right in the middle. How the hell do we do this?
I've got the Ishimura's cargo cranes. They can move half a bay of mining gear, no problem. If whatever's down there wants to wrestle for the marker, I'm in.
Override the safeties, and yes, it might work. But hurry. We're losing critical systems fast.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we are tackling Chapter 11. We're taking no damage on the hardest difficulty impossible mode. This chapter is no slouch, but it is very short. A large majority of this video's runtime is cutscenes, and there are just two major combat set pieces, one in the cargo bay and one in the hangar bay. That doesn't mean that this is a pushover chapter by any means, as the cargo bay is one of the most difficult encounters in the game, hard stop. We'll cover why in a bit, but make sure that you are stocked up on all the supplies that you need, health kits, stasis, ammunition, etc., and we will get through this together. Going down into the cargo bay, you are relatively safe. There's going to be an exploder or two wandering around. There's a guardian that is, funny enough, guarding our final force gun upgrade, as well as the Pang treasure. Destroy the pustules and the tendrils as they come and clear out this space. After that, it's all about preparation. There's a lot of kinesis objects that you can position around. One of the things that I do is I place a lot of them by the control panel and then some in another corner all the way across the room. Now, part of this playthrough is learning from my mistakes so you all don't make the same mistakes that I do. I would suggest putting all of the kinesis objects in one location or in one lane, so to speak, as that's where you're going to gravitate to and spend a lot of your time while you're killing these necromorphs. So whereas I destroy the kinesis table and stack up all of the poles in one corner and then do another in the other corner, I would suggest moving all of the poles closer to the main panel, the main terminal that you activate, and taking out all of the necromorphs in that lane. One of the things that makes this room difficult, aside from the sheer quantity of necromorphs, is that you can't really use the same strategies that have carried you through the game up to this point. Take out one enemy, put your back against the wall, and then take out everything as it funnels directly towards you in your field of view. The way this room is designed is that enemies are going to spawn behind you, they're going to spawn at one end of one walkway, at the end of another walkway. You can still put your back in a corner, but you have to pivot your field of view around to make sure that enemies aren't able to sneak up on you. You have to divide your attention between the two lanes and prioritize which enemies you can take out first, which enemies you can take out quickly and efficiently, whether or not you need to use stasis or whip out the contact beam for a quick kill, or if you get overwhelmed, then the force gun is your back pocket option. When I lay it out like that, it's easy, but making these split-second decisions in a frantic fight for survival is lesser so.
evacuation protocols are in effect. Warning. Multiple system failures detected. Unable to reroute critical functions.
The first wave of enemies seems easy enough, even mundane. You have a enhanced necromorph and a couple of armored necromorphs that come at you. But shit hits the fan once the marker hits the tracks and begins to move. You get more enhanced necromorphs, a couple of pregnants, an exploder, those sort of things, and they come at you from all directions. You'll notice that I'm locking down a lane, but I still have to look to my left, look to my right, cripple an enemy here, and then look the other direction to make sure that something isn't sprinting at me. All things considered, I get pretty lucky during this initial engagement, but if you're prepared accordingly, you can use the stasis canisters, all 4 kinesis poles, and probably only have to expend a couple of bullets of ammunition.
Still in one piece.
Caution. Access bridge is obstructing transfer.
After the first wave is cleared, the marker is going to be blocked by a little walkway. Now, I get very lucky here as I thought that I only triggered one of the tendrils, but both of the tendrils in the middle of this room sneak up from the cargo bay and try to slam me. I'm able to take out the first one and barely dodge the second one. I even have to check my health to make sure I didn't take some sort of splash damage, it was that close. A charged contact beam shot will take them out in one go. What I would recommend is running into the middle of the arena and baiting out a slam from one or the other, or ideally both, and then you've got a window to charge up that shot and take them out. After hitting the button to raise the bridge, you have a little bit of time to get back into an area that you feel most comfortable. For me, I wander back to the main circuit panel and hang out in the same corner where I took out the first wave. Enemies are going to be spawning in front of you, behind you, to the side of you, which is why I recommend moving those kinesis poles over into whatever safe zone you've built for yourself. I don't find myself moving over to those other kinesis poles, so they end up going to waste, and this becomes a more frantic engagement the more I have to actually use my plasma cutter and other weaponry. Another reason why I choose to stand by the main panel in the back of the room versus any other corner is on the opposite side you have where the Guardian was placed, and there's a lot of that necro goop that slows you down when you're trying to maneuver, so that's not a very viable spot. Plus, this area back here has the raised walkway to the right or to the left, depending on what you're facing, that you can use to sort of bob and weave between the necromorphs. You see that I actually utilize that when I have one enemy that's sneaking up behind me and one enemy that's on the main walkway. I can run up that short lift, and they'll have to wander all the way around to try and hit me, so it buys me plenty of time to reposition myself and then take them out. Thankfully, once you've dealt with that second wave of enemies, you're done. You can activate the second bridge lift, and the marker will be moved on to the hangar bay. From here, we're going to go to the hangar bay itself to load the marker onto the shuttle. We're going to fight a couple of lurkers and a couple of leapers on staggered spawns. It's not a big deal, and that's pretty much the chapter. This room right here is the focal point of Chapter 11.
I'm reading a cargo transfer to the hangar bay.
The marker. Good work, Mr. Clark. On our way.
Kine, your flight path goes by airlock 19. I can get there from the computer core.
A pickup. Yes, we'll be there.
Can you make it to the airlock alone?
System failures
No
detected.
movement on the cameras.
Unable to reroute critical
I'm just gonna run for it. Wish me luck.
Emergency. All personnel proceed to your designated safe zone immediately.
Fuck, it's my brother. On the monitor, he's right by the airlock.
Don't let this place get to you. Kendra, we're out of time.
He's out there. I can make it if I run.
As much as I love thematically, you having a quarantine here right where you first began the game and having to take out some enemies, it's just so forgettable. You can put your back against the wall like I do, and then the enemies basically fall into your lap. There's nothing impeding you from taking these guys out pretty much immediately as soon as they drop from the ceiling. Now the only thing is that they throw a couple of twitchers at you, but like we've established, charge contact beam, force gunshot, anything like that is going to stagger them for so long that they're easy pickings. This quarantine is almost insulting being this late in the game.
Quarantine lifted.
Mr. Clark, your colleague's safely on board.
My name is Kendra Daniels. Stand by, Isaac. He's bringing the shuttle in now. Isaac, we can't run the automated loading controls. Must be the damage to the ship.
We're losing time. The hive mind is down there.
Kine, relax. I'll turn off the gravity in the hangar, then I can load the marker by hand.
All right. No, don't worry, Amelia. They understand.
Jesus.
Entering zero gravity.
Every time you reposition the marker and move it closer and closer to the shuttle, a mix of lurkers and leapers are going to spawn that you'll have to deal with. I usually just pick them off one at a time versus trying to just speed run my way through this and end up with a pile of enemies in front of me. But this is easy enough. There's a bunch of explosive barrels around that you can use, and as long as you kind of keep yourself pivoting back and forth, you won't get hit by a stray lurker shot or get tackled by a leaper. Overall, this is pretty simple. The only thing of note is, as far as I know, the only diamond semiconductor in the game is located in this area in one of the boxes. So definitely worth a snag, even if you just keep it to put in your safe. If you all know of any other diamond semiconductors, would you let me know where they are? Because this is the only one I've been able to find. That pretty much wraps it up for Chapter 11, though. Once you take out the lone Twitcher after the Nicole cutscene and take out the Leapers on the way to the shuttle, it's chapter complete. You're going to head down to Aegis 7 and have your final confrontation with the Hive Mind. Thank you all for sticking around. We're finally wrapping up next week. I'm looking forward to some future content coming out on the channel. Maybe Dead Space related, maybe more review type related things. I don't know yet. I'm kind of playing it by ear. If there's anything in specific that you all would like to see, again, feel free to leave a comment for me, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff that it likes. And one thing to keep in mind as well is the game will tell you that you can't return to the Ishimura after you move into Chapter 12. So if you haven't completed any side missions or found any upgrade parts, now would be the time to do so before you end up separated from the Ishimura forever.
Gravity before we can load it.
Hurry!
Exiting zero gravity.
On board. Come, quickly!
Go open the hatch for him.
Cool. Is she here?
Trust him with the marker.
Kendra, what are you doing?
What my department sent me here to do. Even if the Valor couldn't help me out like I wanted.
Department? Who are you?
I work for EarthGov, cleaning up a very, very old mess. I told you and Hammond that Aegis 7 was off limits. The planet was one big government experiment. The marker, this divine artifact, it was built by human hands.
That's impossible. It's an alien world. The miners dug up the fucking thing.
After it was planted here a few hundred years ago. Even Kai didn't pick up on that. They found the first marker in some crater on Earth. That one. That was real. Alien. Enough to inspire unitology. Our people studied it and reverse engineered this red marker. But they needed somewhere to test it.
Aegis 7.
You've seen the result. The stuff of nightmares. I thought the old reports were just hysteria. Until I saw what I saw. They sealed off the whole system, buried the records nice and clean. Until CEC got greedy. Those idiots tore Aegis 7 apart, and woke up with the old research team left behind.
So EarthGov sent you to sweep it all under the rug. Damn it, we have to return the marker. If anyone else stumbles across Aegis 7...
It was disappeared once. We can do it again. I've seen how the marker fucks with your head. It must be contained. For what it's worth, we made a great team. You'll find another way off the Ishimura. I mean, you're one hell of an engineer.
Your experiment's gonna kill us all! Daniels! It was all for nothing.
Isaac, come in. It's Nicole.
Where are you?
In the flight control room. Please, you have to come up here now. There's still a way out for us, but we don't have much time.
Danger. Containment fields approaching maximum capacity.
There you are.
Thank God you're here. The ship's coming apart. I saw what you've been through. Your investigation, Mercer. What happened with us?
We don't have to talk about it.
I need you to know I'm sorry about everything.
It's okay, Isaac. You know I forgive you. I love you.
Well, good, but...
There's still hope. You can recall the shuttle and remote pilot it from here. Bring back the marker and we can return it to Aegis 7. You can make us whole again.
I just want to make things right.
And let's do it together.
Recalling shuttle USG-09. Prepping remote docking procedures.
Damn it, Isaac! You don't know what you're doing!
I know. I'm finally doing the smart thing.
You fucking kidding me? Shit!
Warning. Escape pod launch detected from shuttle USG-09.
Escape pod. Damn! We lost her.
It doesn't matter. She can't escape her fate. But who can? Here it comes. Isaac?
I know. Ishimura's finished. If we get on that shuttle, there's no going back.
Leave no regrets. Go. I'll reprogram the shuttle with our flight path to Aegis 7 and join you on board.
Don't leave me waiting.
Never again.
Emergency. Internal hull breaches detected.
knew you'd come back for me.
Are you ready?
Yes. We're together again. Nothing can stop us now. This isn't how I imagined saying goodbye to the Ishimura. Steady.
I'm good.
Are you afraid, Isaac?
No. With you, I can handle anything.
One more ride together, then. This all began in the core of the planet.
Daniel said EarthGov built the marker. Some experiment they abandoned hundreds of years ago.
If you're not ready, a miracle must be as terrifying as a nightmare. The planet is restless, hungry. It'll try to eat us alive. But we have the marker. We'll put things back the way they were. We will be whole again.